This podcast will hopefully contain words or statements of obscene, pornographic, or immoral character. You have been warned. You have been warned. You have been warned.
Cool. So fucking 98.
Yeah, closing in on the big 100 there, huh?
How fucking crazy is that?
Pretty cool. We'll have to figure out something special for 100, I guess, or maybe not. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. So what's shaking? Hey, you did something really cool.
I did?
I think you did last weekend.
Oh, well, yeah. Last weekend I went to the final NoFX show. I guess you're talking about that.
Yeah, that or I don't know, something along that line. Yeah. I would feel that's pretty important.
Yeah, man, it was cool. It was a really fun day. Well, this whole tour has been their like farewell tour, and they've been marketing everything as we're 100% definitely never playing again, which I don't know. We could make a whole podcast about that topic, and maybe we should at some point, but I don't know. Before I even get into the show, I just the fact of like bands or just people in life in general talking about things in absolutes. I have a problem with that. And I mean, it's everyone's prerogative to do what they want with their music and their career or whatnot, I guess. But yeah, working in absolutes is just something I never like to do. And I just think like a band of their level, obviously I'm sure I don't even know exactly the reasons why they've decided to stop playing. I looked into it a little bit. I couldn't find any like real concrete
I
answers.
thought it was all Fat Mike.
Yeah, it's kind of sounds like it is sort of him maybe controlling the situation a little bit from what I read, but who knows? I read like seven different things that were all a little bit conflicting. So, but yeah, I guess just like a band at that level, maybe they are just really sick of playing and they just don't want to play anymore. But I don't know. I'm like, why do bands have to say that this is the final thing? Like, just why put yourself in that box? Like, I just feel like you could just be like, we've been doing this for 40 years. We're kind of honestly like really sick and tired of doing it right now. And we're going to take like a 5-year break, but maybe we'll come back and play some shows at some point, but maybe we won't. Like, I don't understand the need to frame things as always being so final with stuff like that. Do you have an opinion on that?
Money talks. Money talks. Because all of a sudden something's going to happen and somebody's going to be like, man, I could use some cash. And everybody's like in that they're bored sitting around the house. And they're like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. They've been touring all their lives, dude. No way.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, maybe it even makes more sense with a band like them to like, don't say that. Just why? There's like this whole thing with like saying you're retiring that's like a gimmick for bands or something. It's like,
How long did that last for Slayer?
yeah, like Slayer made it almost 5 years, I think. So, but anyway, the whole point I even like went on that tangent. I could go even deeper on it, but bring it back on topic is it's funny because at their merch booth, they actually had shirts for sale of a hypothetical reunion show in 2028.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it had like their logo and like a picture or something on the front, and on the back it said 2028 reunion tour and had like a list of dates and stuff.
Dude, that would not surprise me at
Yeah.
any level. I
Yeah.
once again, I think you're right in saying, hey, we're going to take a break so that we can kind of get our shit together, clean ourselves up, get some rest. But that lifestyle, how long have they been doing it? I can't see it not
Yeah.
continuing.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just for me, why say that? Just be like, we're fucking sick of this. We love you guys. We love the fans. Like, thank you so much for supporting us all these years, but we need a fucking break. Maybe we'll come back, maybe we won't, but we don't know what's going on right now. We need to figure shit out. And like, I think fans respect that. And when you making something so final, I just think also people know nowadays that that's just horse shit.
So does it feel like a total fucking money grab? Like promoting the shit out of it as your final tour so that everybody comes out
Yeah.
because it's the last time I'm going to see them in the Pumpkin Drublic tours and shows like that. They fucking max out on their cash, and you know what? It's just a good pad till 2028.
Yeah, I think that honestly, there's got to be something to that. I mean, you like look at Kiss. They've been on a farewell tour for like literally 20 fucking years, I think. Like every year they say this is their last. I might be exaggerating. I don't know the exact trajectory of all that, but I'm pretty sure that they've been on a farewell tour for a number of years now. Um, so yeah, and I was even saying too, like there could be a component of it is no effects. So this could be the ultimate like trolling of all time, where they everything I just said is exactly what they're thinking, but it's being portrayed as this is it. But like literally, they already know they were doing this to take a 4 year break, and they are going to come back in 2028. Like they already know it's happening.
I believe that. I think that might be more realistic than anything.
Yeah. But anyway, regardless, whichever way it does go, whether they come back or not, um, it was cool, man. Like honestly, I never got to see. I mean, we talked about this on here. I'd never seen them, and that was my first time getting to see them, and it was, man. It was really cool. Like they're like sounds kind of weird to have, I guess, like heavy emotions at a No Effects show, but there was definitely a few moments where they played a couple songs that were honestly songs I didn't even think they'd play. They went kind of like deep dive on a few things, and I definitely had some memories get jarred up of things from the past when I first like heard No Effects, triggering things I was doing at that time. And I don't know, it was this weird moment of holy shit, like I've been listening to these guys off and on for 30 years and just like looking at everybody there and stuff. And it's like, everybody in that crowd's basically like people in our age group. And
right.
it's just, I don't know, man, it was pretty cool. It was just like this moment of seeing everybody sing along to all their favorite songs and just knowing that all these other people had these little moments of their life influenced by them in some small or big way. So, yeah, man, it was cool. Like a lot of cool energy and people were having a really good time. And honestly, I went back and watched the two because they did live streams of all the shows, so they already have really good multicam footage up on YouTube of all three shows.
Right.
I went back and watched night one and night two just to see how it compared to night three. And I'm so glad I went to night three. It was definitely, in my opinion, it was the best one. Night one was pretty good too. There was some songs they played on night one I wish I would have got to hear. But night two, I didn't personally enjoy. I didn't think it was as good.
Right.
So I'm stoked that I went to night three because I think that, in my opinion, that was the best night. But yeah, man, it was fun, and it was in San Pedro, which I had never been to before. It's kind of like the Port of Los Angeles area. It's where all the big ships come in with shipping. It's like a giant shipping container yard, essentially, but it's huge, like miles long.
Wow.
So where the show was actually down in the yards, like where the ships come in. I guess there's like a giant parking lot for one of the companies there that where people work or something, and they just had this whole parking lot set up as like the festival.
That's pretty awesome.
So it was pretty cool. Like the scenery around there was pretty neat. There was like ships around and like people, like unloading shipping containers and stuff. And I had never honestly really seen any of that kind of stuff up close like that before.
The scale of it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Dude, it's crazy, man. Like like I said, you see that shit on TV and you can't, I mean, you know what a shipping container looks like in person, but until you see like 40 of them stacked up and like the machines that are lifting them and stuff, it's crazy. It's like what a feat of engineering to have figured all that shit out, man. It's nuts.
Dude, that's awesome. I am stoked you got to go. And it sounds like a pretty badass location.
Yeah, the location was cool. Like I said, everyone that was kind of around us they were just all really cool people, just everyone having a good time. And I posted this on Instagram, but I ended up meeting that dude Kenny there's this band called Water Tower. They're like a bluegrass punk band kind of. And yeah, I was standing in line. We were like trying to figure out where to get food. And I happened to look over and I saw that dude. And like, dude, it was crazy because like I didn't think I'd see anybody there that I knew at all. And I turned and saw him and I was like, I knew who he was like right away. I was like, holy shit, that's that dude from that fucking band I follow on Instagram. So I was like, fuck it. I was like, that's too weird running into him. I was like, I got to go introduce myself. And I just walked over and I was just like, hey, are you Kenny from Water Tower? And he was like, yeah, dude, I'm totally Kenny. And he was like all stoked that I even like recognized him. I don't know. That's cool if you're in a band and someone recognizes you, I guess. And,
yeah, absolutely.
And he was like all stoked. And yeah, I told him I had first learned about them back in 2020 during COVID. We went to Zion and they played there because it was like during the lockdowns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't really there wasn't any music happening. So anyway, that was the first live band I had seen in like almost a year at that point.
Wow.
Because the lockdowns in Utah weren't quite as strict. So yeah, they played out there, and anyway, they were super cool. And I chatted with them after the show. I was just like, man, it's so cool that you guys are playing. Like, I haven't played a show in like a year or even seen a band. And yeah, I was just like, it was so cool to actually see live music again. So I told him that whole story, and he like totally remembered that show. He's like, dude, that's crazy. He's like, I remember playing there back during COVID and stuff. And what was funny, and so anyway, we were just kind of chatting a few minutes. He was really cool. And it's funny because I'm not usually like a selfie guy, really. If I meet someone, like I'm not really too into getting my picture taken with people. Like sometimes I
like
will.
me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just not my thing. Like people who want to do it, it's fine. I don't. It has to be something like a special moment. Like I don't know, for me to be like wanting to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I was like, dude, this is crazy. I got to get my picture with this guy. It's like just too weird, like running into him like this. So I was like, dude, would you mind if I get a picture with you? He's like, no, dude, let's do it. So anyway, we took a picture and he's like, oh, are you on Instagram? And I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, I'm the one man punk rock band on there. And he's like, what? He's like, you're the one man punk rock band? He's like, dude, I totally know who you are. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, he's like, I follow you on Instagram. I'm like, oh no shit. He's like, yeah. He's like, you're like the dude that like does like shit with the suitcase drum and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally me. He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, that's fucking rad. He was like, I didn't even realize the whole time we've been talking that that's who you are. And he's like, no, that's fucking sick. And anyway, so he was like super stoked when he found out that that's who I was.
How fucking cool is that?
Yeah. So that was pretty awesome. Anyway, so like the picture that we took was like pretty much like right after finding out that like we were like the picture of us laughing is kind of us like realizing like who we both were.
Oh, that is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
It was the pinnacle of the meeting. It was your apex.
Yeah, it was. Aww. So that was super cool, and it was both of our first time seeing NoFX.
Oh, really? That's even funnier.
he was like, yeah, dude. He was like, told me all about like when he first got into NoFX, and he's like, well, how did you get into him? And so we were kind of sharing each other's stories of getting into NoFX and stuff. But yeah, man, super fun day. Like, couldn't have asked for a better time. Just getting to run into that dude, and then they honestly, there was out of the 10 songs I really, really, really wanted to hear, I heard like 7 of them.
Oh, then fuck you, score.
Yeah, so I was like, dude, you can't really ask for much better than that.
Oh my god, that was the change today.
I didn't listen to last week's podcast, but I think you guys talked about it. But can you give me like a quick recap?
The quick recap is that I actually made both shows,
Yeah.
which was totally mind blowing because I didn't think I'd actually do it. We made it for, I would assume, 90% of the Joe Wood set,
Okay.
and I was just beat and was ready to go home.
Right.
But I was within the first 5 songs. We could have left because I was so stoked, and he basically did Revenge and Change Today, right? That's the one before that.
Yeah.
He was hitting jam after jam after jam after jam after jam after jam, and I was in heaven. And it was just at a point where I was like, holy shit. And he's sadly like Flowers by the Door. I guess I didn't realize he had written so much of that shit. That stuff was his, and it wasn't like the full band participation. But I mean, that one was like kind of like the one I was stoked about. But I was like, the other songs were such bangers the way he played them, that Flowers by the Door being played, kind of right and mid tempo. I was like, oh, that kind of was sad. I was like, but he kept coming. Like he hit a point where they started doing some new stuff, and I was just like, I'm fucking tired. And Amanda was awesome. She went with me, so that was one that I didn't geek out and go over and was like, hey, could you take my picture? What was funny is we were sitting beside the bar. At the bar, I sat beside the bass player, and the guitar player came in and went to the other side of Amanda, and like he showed up. Like we were all in the back, but I was just like, I can't. Like Amanda's like, you go over get your picture taken. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it. Like I think it was a time and place. Like Reverend Norb was different. Like for some reason,
That's the thing. I think you hit the nail on the head what I was trying to get across earlier. It's like just the timing of the situation has to be right. Like if all those stars align, like I want to get my picture taken with someone, but if it's something just seems out of place or too much of an effort to make it happen or something, like I don't know.
I just felt like I was like, there was already some dude that had started talking to him, and I was like, yeah, I'm not jumping in here and like let those guys go have their moment. Like it was all good.
I'm glad you had a good time because like what you described is basically my exact same experience. It was just if you're a fan of those 2 records with him, then he just was like knocking them out like banger after banger. It was like basically
Yes, yeah, and it was cool is because I forgot about it. They did put out like those 2 shit out or 1 shit album
yes.
and that live album. So I like listened, like I prepped. And I'm like, if I get half of this, like I listened to the live album. I was like, if I get half of this when we go, I'll be stoked. So how was it with NoFX? I mean, was it banger, 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 or did they go like deep in the catalog of like, I don't remember that one.
I guess their whole thing was over the 3 nights they had practiced 120 songs so they could do like 40 songs a night. But I'd have to go back and watch, but I'm pretty certain they weren't playing 40 songs a night at any of the shows. Maybe 20 to 25 songs, maybe.
I have
But
to tell you, I would fuck unless they were no yipping and it was just like straight fucking go. I would have been like, oh,
yeah,
my go-go juice would have ran out. Yes, people, I am that bad.
they definitely did a lot of talking in between songs. They didn't they would play like two, sometimes maybe 2 to 3 songs back to back. But and they it was funny because they would even celebrate after they did 2 songs in a row. Like they're like, we can't believe we actually did it. We did 2 songs in a row. Like,
Jesus Christ.
so they did do a good bit of talking in between songs, but his stage banter's good and stuff. Well, all their stage banter's good, so it was entertaining when they would kind of like fuck with each other in between songs and stuff like that. But it definitely would have been cool to hear more stuff. But I'm admittedly I'm not too versed in their 2000s on material. Like I know a little bit here and there, but most of the shit I'm a fan of is like the 89 to like 98 kind of era.
Same boat.
Yeah, so when they would play shit from that, I was, I pretty much knew everything, but I would say out of the, I don't know, let's say if they played 30 songs the night I was there, I knew probably like 18 of the songs,
Oh, that's awesome.
and
Yeah.
12 I didn't know. I was like literally never even heard it. So
So and like some of the newer stuff, I don't dislike it. And like if it's on a comp or something, I usually save the song out of the comp.
yeah,
Like because what I hear I like, it's just I don't go and dive into the latter albums. It's just
yeah. I'm glad that you had fun at the Joe Wood show though. I was hoping that it would be like a similar show to what I saw because I was like, well, if it's the same show, he's gonna love it.
yeah. I was pissed. I bitched on air that they didn't have fat guy shirts because I am a total, and I don't know if Fred and I talked about this, but I know that the band gets the money if I buy the shirt.
Yeah, yeah,
So I've been buying shirts, and even I'm fucking archiving shirts that I've worn once or twice because it's just like I don't need all these shirts, but I feel like the best way to support somebody is to actually buy their merch and give it to a band member. Like I know that you just took my $20. Like
yeah.
I know like that I feel so much better about than I mean paying at the door, but
Yeah, totally. No, I mean it's like, well, a band at their level, like anything that you buy at their merch table is it's gone to them to pay them back for getting the shit made.
mm-hmm.
I'll give you a pro tip on having too many shirts. I have a shoe box. Actually, I have 2 shoe boxes. Whenever I have a shirt that I'm either not wearing anymore or I've worn it so much it's time to retire it, I cut the screen print out of the shirt and roll it up and put it in a shoebox and just throw the other part of the shirt away. And I have like almost 2 shoeboxes full of designs cut out of t-shirts I've had over the years. And my goal is if I ever have a place one day where stuff can stay permanently, I want to cover all the walls with these fragments of t-shirts.
So Mike McManus, who sang for the 710 Split, aka Perestroika,
Uh-huh.
he had a tapestry that he made, and he basically did exactly what you said. As his shirt died, went to be retired, he cut it out and sew it into this
That's
massive,
cool. Fuck yeah.
massive fucking tapestry of band shirts. So, Mike, if you still have it, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that kind of shit. Yeah, I've been doing this for years too. It's just I've been just quietly have this shoebox. I started it probably 15 years ago and I added a bunch of shirts to it at the time. And then I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna like keep this going. And like I said, for like the last 15 years, I've been just every time a shirt gets retired, I cut it. Or if it's a shirt I wear a couple times and I hate the way it fits or it's too big or just whatever, yeah, cut the design out.
I am starting to get to the point where I don't like this is fucking hateful. I don't like full solid screen printed shirts anymore because the ink gets so heavy in them,
Yeah.
and it feels like you're wearing a fucking sewn on patch onto your chest. Like
Yep.
I am starting. And I guess, but the direct print, that shit doesn't hold up. Like we have like a shirt that Amanda got me. Well, it's probably 2 years, but the print's like just disintegrating off of it. And her
Yeah.
Craven Moorhead shirt from last year is the print's disintegrating off of it. Like it's just after being washed and worn and washed and worn, like
Yeah.
they just fall apart. So it's the downfall of fucking direct print. But the positive is that shit moves and is flexible and is breathable.
Yeah, I was gonna say every shirt that I currently own that I know for a fact is like a direct to garment print. I, as much as I hate to say it, I find them far superior to silk screening. Even though they might not last as long, they're like you said, they're so much more comfortable. And I don't know, like you said, they move and I don't know, man. They just like look good.
Yeah, and you can get a million colors. I mean, for us on this side, you can get the million colors and not have to pay for each fucking screen.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just funny you mentioned about a shirt having like such a heavy screen print that it feels like that you're wearing a patch. I bought a shirt when we saw Ween here back in February, and they actually had shirts made for the actual show with the dates and stuff. And I bought one of the shirts, and it's the same thing. It's like a real heavy silk screen print, and when you wear it, like my chest would get sweaty because
Yes,
like, the paint was so heavy on the shirt. So that was another shirt I just a couple weeks ago cut up and put in the shoebox.
retired it. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. I got ones sitting right now to go down into retirement.
Tell me about the constituent show. I really want to hear about that.
Well, they fucking ruled.
Yeah, they
Um,
ruled it.
they so we lucked out. This is funny. It's a recap for everybody again. But we showed up. We definitely need to play Skid Row. Like this place, it's a really cool small club. Like it sucks that we got bumped for Dayglow, but it's okay. Like I can't see Dayglow playing there because it's in small tight, but they have good sound. It's like just a really nice little spot. Um, anyway, we show up, and as we're paying to get in the door, we hear the sound check, and Fred's like, "That's them." Like we knew it was them, like sound checking. So we basically fucking walked in the door, and they started playing, and they fucking kicked ass. They did the whole CD, plus they did two extra songs. And Gavin, very sad because he was supposed to go with us, but he had to work that night. The original bass player, which is, I got to get this right, Jose's brother, I believe, was the original bass player. He was there up from, oh my gosh, Puerto Rico, right? They're from Puerto Rico. Um, he was up from Puerto Rico, and so he played a song with them.
Oh,
So it
cool.
was badass. It was really awesome. And I think, and maybe I stutter through this, why there is such a man crush on them is the fact that those guys are so active. They're all fucking awesome players. But on top of that, like, dude, fucking Rob is in the fucking pit with his guitar, fucking dancing, two-stepping with everybody else. Like their shows are so interactive, maybe is the word.
Yeah.
Like Jose's out there, like they're in the crowd. It is not one of those Curtis Taylor, I'm on the stage. I'm going to stay on the stage because that's where I like it. It's definitely like they're out in amongst you, and it's one of those like where they're like they might say come up, but when you come up, you're going to be a part of the show, and you know that from seeing them. So I'm just kind of wording it out maybe a little bit better than I have prior on why I love those guys. And dude, Titus is a fucking phenomenal fucking bass player. Like, I don't think I realized like how good of a bass player he was like the first time we saw him. But like where I was standing at that show, like I was right up beside him, and I'm watching him fucking play, and I'm like, dude, I was like, and I've listened to the CD a bunch now that it's streaming. So I've listened and I hear some of the parts that like I never heard before, but to watch him play, oh my God. It's like fucking just blown away by the amount of skill. And especially for what they play, you would not expect him to be fucking running the neck and running up and down and doing all these fucking crazy fills. I mean, we had a long talk about it afterwards, and it was one of like the potty mouth, one of our podcasts about where people learn more about their art and they play. And was talking about listening to some of these old records and realizing, that some of the strengths of it was while somebody was just hitting an open chord, the fucking bass player was fucking going nuts. And it was like, you started to see that, like, because I had mentioned just like, I was like, dude, you were all over the fucking place. And we started this conversation. And then that fell into the, punk bands turning metal or hardcore bands turning metal. And every hardcore band is a metal band at heart.
Yeah.
And so it was like it was awesome because not only did we show up for the show, they kick ass. Then we hung out with them we missed the second band or the fourth band because we missed the first two, which I was kind of sad that we missed them now that like I kind of watched them. I mean, it was definitely a metal show. But Fred and I both had a really good time. And the last band was really good. And I still can't remember their name. And it was one of those logos that I couldn't read. So
Yeah.
I did figure out who it was, like Skid Row posted and they had their pictures and I could look and see, but I can't remember the name. But they kicked ass. All in all, it was a really good fucking night.
You got to meet up with them after and stuff. Like, were they like stoked to see you guys?
Fuck yeah, dude. They were super stoked to see us. I don't think they thought we were going to show up. So they were really excited to see us. And it was funny is we find out that the drummer from Fred's band was the singer for a band that the drummer from the Constituents was in, but he played guitar in that band. So they were like one of the beat down hardcore bands from back in the aughts, I think.
Okay.
Like they were together like in Baltimore beaten down bands. So it was fucking funny as shit. Just the fucking small circle. Like they were all blown away that Fred's in a doom band. But they like the whole us talking to them, and Titus had brought up that he saw Fred's post. That fucking goofy ass one where he was pretending like he's Troy McClure. McClure, is it right? From You Might Know Me from Such Bands As, which was fucking amazing.
And the crowd was like super into him.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people came out for their CD show and stuff.
Yeah, well, I thought there would be more, but I think like they're talking about there's a weird vibe happening in Baltimore and hadn't figured out what it is. So that's why they did the CD release up here.
Mm.
But they're playing on the 20th. And I think I'm going to try to sneak out. I guess that's next Sunday. I'm going to try to sneak out to that. It's a Sunday night. Got my grandmother's birthday party on the fucking 19th. So Sunday should be good.
We can end on this. I know we got to wrap up soon, but waiting to tell you this all week because I feel like you're going to love this for some reason. But Space Wax is playing a show today. We're playing an afternoon show because as soon as I get off here, I got to start getting ready for this show we're playing today. We got asked to be the live musical entertainment this afternoon at a pickleball tournament.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
That is so awesome.
Yeah. So the bar that Jordan works at, there's some like regular who comes in and he's like into pickleball or whatever. And he had actually seen us play like 2 years ago. And I don't know. Apparently he's like an older dude too. I don't know. He like just really liked us. And yeah, he's having this like neighborhood pickleball tournament today. They like shut down their street and they like paint a big pickleball court in their cul-de-sac and like everybody comes and like there's a big pickleball tournament.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and he wanted live music and he was like, I really want you guys to play. And we were just kind of like, yeah, we'll do it, but like the people who are going to be at this pickleball tournament, are they going to like want to hear the type of music we play? And I think they were just like, yeah, they just want like live music, and yeah, the dude's going to pay us and everything.
That is fucking phenomenal. How do you turn that down?
Yeah, so I'm like, dude, that's awesome. It's like we're like the first stoner rock band endorsed by a pickleball tournament.
That is fucking amazing.
Yeah, so next week I'll have to report back on how that goes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to know how that goes. I can't even imagine. I'm just like blown away.
Yeah,
How close will you be? Will you be able to experience the pickleball? Or are you going to be like in their driveway?
I think they're putting a canopy up in the driveway, and we are going to be setting up under a canopy in the driveway that's like at the end of this cul-de-sac. So I mean, it's very possible cops might show up. I think this whole thing I think sounds like it's pretty rogue. Like it's just the neighborhood takes over the cul-de-sac and yeah, so we'll see what happens.
I think it's amazing. Yeah, I definitely want a full fucking report on this shit.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing this afternoon.
Yeah, that is fucking awesome. Yeah, you should have shirts for that.
Right? I know
Pickleball 2024. You never know. That guy might have some.
yeah, there might be shirts and it's funny, we even talked about it just all happened so fast that we didn't really have a chance to really plan anything out in detail, but we practiced a couple days ago and um someone made the comment we should get on Amazon and somebody get like a pickle costume and then the other two we'd each wear a ball, like a ball costume.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, we didn't have time to bring that to fruition. So maybe if we play next year, we can do that.
I could have sent you my fucking Bucky's outfit.
Yeah, that's fucking
Yeah.
cool. Have you put it on yet?
No, I'm afraid I'm not going to fit in it. I'm thinking once my medicine kicks in fully and I start shedding the weight, I'll be in that bitch. I might wear it to work one day. Full on fucking beaver for Dustin. How awesome would that be? Roll in the work and I'm sitting at my desk wearing a fucking beaver costume.
It's the secret to doing that though is you can't wear anything underneath of it except for underwear. So if he's like, dude, you got to take that off, you'd be like, I can't.
Oh my god.
I mean,
How
I'll take it
awesome.
off, but I'm going to be in my underwear. So pick your poison.
Well, I lucked out and Amanda's mom got me Bucky's underwear as well. So I could be full bucked out.
Fully bucked.
Oh shit. So next year when we go to play,
Can't wait.
Bucky's outfit. As long as I get my fat ass in it.
That's amazing.
By that time I might have to cut the sides out so that my gut still slides into it. But it would be like a parka. But it'll still be badass.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. It definitely will be a pretty tough competition against the Winnie the Pooh costume that Dave had.
Yeah, well, that was awesome. I feel somehow he knew that I wanted to roll in my fucking Bucky's outfit and got squadooshed. So he stole my thunder without knowing he stole my thunder.
We'll have to have a full bodysuit off and like whoever that's what it should be. Next year if we both play shows, we'll have a contest to see who can stay in their hot suit the longest.
Oh my god. Fuck that. Oh, all the constituents. The dude wore the fucking leather face mask. Rob wore the fucking leather face mask the whole show. I was so
Jesus.
pissed off. Except for the last two songs. When the album was over, he took it off. I was like, you mother, I was like so pissed. Fred's trying to make me feel good that the fucking neoprene fucking luchador mask doesn't breathe as well, but I still felt like shit. Outdone again.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this year is the 50th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I
It
believe
might
it is.
be. Holy shit. That's crazy to think.
Yeah, it is crazy. 50 years, man. That movie, man, dude, even I watched that not too long ago for the first time in a while, and shit, man, to think about like what that must have been like seeing that when it came out. Like there was nothing like that out at the time. Like
Right.
that movie is a mind fuck still to this day. So I can't imagine what people back then thought about that shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it. I'm part of the way through the thing. I started rewatching the Kurt Russell one again. It came on Amazon. That's one of my favorites. So it's not a mind fuck like that.
No. Yeah, we just watched that a couple weeks back actually. I love that movie.
Yeah, dude, the thing is fucking phenomenal. Literally the thing.
Cool, man. Well, you want to wrap up?
Oh yeah, so let's wrap it up. I don't have any sound effects, so we're just wrapping it up, and I'll add them in post because I got fucking magic in me.
Cool. Well, yeah, close it in on the 100th episode. We'll have to figure out something cool to do or not. Fuck it.
Look at we're gonna do the anti. It'll be a 15-minute one.
Yeah.
I'll call in from the shitter. It'll be
Yeah.
awesome.
There we go.
Justin will be happy with me. All right, on that note, adios, motherfuckers.
Later.
This podcast was brought to you by Potty Mouth Records. Contact us at pottymouthrecords@gmail.com and find us on the web at pottymouthrecords.rocks. That's .rocks.
That was way better than I expected.
POTTYCAST. Ba-da.